Hi there team, Coach Alexa here, coach for Reading, South Oxfordshire and online. So another video in my Pillars of Health series, and I'm going to do 2 or 3 more I think on the subject of physical health for our overall well-being. Now I'm sure as runners we're all pretty familiar with the fact that getting out and doing some physical activity is very good for our physical health. So in terms of blood pressure, even sort of cancer risk, diabetes risk, as well as our overall kind of cardiovascular fitness, then any form of aerobic training is really good for us, be that running, brisk walking, cycling, swimming, whatever it might be. And in my last video I talked about the real importance of that sort of low heart rate, zone 2, low effort, fully conversational pace training, and the amazing benefits that has on so many different systems in our body, not just by building our running endurance. But today I wanted to talk a little more about the higher intensity training. So this is something that we might sprinkle in to our running training. So this is working at higher effort levels. So if we've got our zone 2 at the bottom where we're having that fully conversational pace to build our endurance, higher intensity stuff is where we're working at higher effort levels, so it feels harder. We're breathing harder, so the amount we can talk in each sentence starts to reduce and our heart rate goes up into higher zones. So it's good for our running, it helps with muscle activation, it helps with the development of power and propulsion, it can help our running form, it helps improve our VO2 max, it helps our speed, which is why a lot of people do it. So if you want to have a speed component in your training, it can be part of what helps improve that speed and pace if you've got a time goal in mind for something, for example. But there are, again, studies showing that doing some higher intensity, kind of cardiovascular training can be also really beneficial for other areas in our body. So our body produces more of a chemical that goes around and helps break down some of the build-up of these proteins in our brain that can cause Alzheimer's, for example, when we're doing higher intensity cardiovascular work. That heart-based training is training our heart as a muscle. So there is some good research to show that it builds into that additional benefit of reducing cardiovascular issue risks, so sort of heart disease and things like that. It challenges the sort of elasticity of our veins and arteries, so improves our circulation. So it's not just about doing speed work for speed's sake in running, although as runners that's obviously quite an important component for many of us. But it also has lots of unexpected to me when I started finding out about this over the last few years, a longer term health benefits on lots and lots of other areas of our body. The interesting thing that when you're looking at, for example, just purely the impacts on brain health, as little as 20 minutes a week is enough when it comes to that higher intensity training. And depending on people's fitness levels, if for example I'm looking at my parents, they're not runners, they go out and walk regularly, but that might involve like brisk walking up a hill for 20 seconds, because that for many people will get them into that high heart rate zone that they need to be in. So you don't need to be doing a spin session or running hill repeats or anything like that. Whatever gets you or the people that into that sort of high section of higher heart rate zones, and a session that lasts around 20 minutes a week will get you all of those longer term health benefits. Obviously, if you've got particular goals in mind for running, then you might adjust that, do a little bit more or a little bit less, depending on what you're focusing on. Anyway, hope that's useful. Speed work is good for our brains. Happy running.